Citywest in Dublin for the largest martial arts tournament in the world, the Irish Open International. Almost 4,000 competitors. That's 308 teams from 39 countries, all gathered here to test their skills, build friendships, and hopefully take home one of the most coveted titles in the sport. And all the proceeds go towards charity.
So here we are again for the biggest martial arts event in the world. It's the one everyone wants to compete in, with a limit of 4,000 competitors set each year for this competition, now held annually at Dublin's Citywest Hotel and Convention Centre. The Irish Open is close to celebrating its 30th birthday, having begun in Leixlip in County Kildare in the early 90s, moving to the National Basketball Arena for a spell after that, but now it's at its biggest home, having set up camp at Citywest in 2010. It's not just a competition for the international elite. There are categories for juniors, underage, cadets, and a new discipline for under-10s, the Peewee category. We'll see some of this later. All proceeds from the Irish Open each year go to charity, in particular the ISPCC, who received €20,000 from the event last year. 2019 is a World Championship year. This is one of 8 World Cup events run annually by the World Amateur Governing Body WACO. Kickboxing is on its way to becoming an Olympic sport.
Roy Baker, this has truly become one of the most spectacular tournaments on the circuit, hasn't it?
Yes, officially the largest fighting tournament in the world with 3,812 competitors. So yeah, it's grown over a 26-year period and we're the biggest.
And this is such a family-friendly event. What do you think makes it that way?
But what's incredible is we get families booking their whole holidays around the Irish Open, including America, Pan America, Australia, and they come here and they stay here for 4 or 5 days and then they move into the rest of Europe. So it's really unusual. 75 to 80% of all of the people that are here are foreign.
And we got some great news this year with the Olympics, didn't we?
Yeah, we got Olympic recognition, which for this sport is great. So our next step is going into the European Olympic Games, looking for the Youth Olympic Games, and 4 weeks ago I was elected as president of the World Federation, so I have a lot of work on my shoulders.
In a world that's gone crazy with gadgets and screen time, what is it that still attracts the children to this sport, and why is it so good for those children?
There's 2 things. It's very dynamic, so kids like to see it, people kicking, people punching. It's a competitive combat sport. And then secondly, why the parents like it is because it builds resilience into our children. A big challenge we have in society at the moment is our children, because they're on gadgets all day, on Facebook, on Instagram, they don't realise sometimes you fail. And when you fail, you have to learn how to stand up and keep going forward. And today, I see a lot of parents bringing their kids into combat sports because it absolutely teaches you to stand up when you fall down.
It's always amazing to be at the Irish Open here in Dublin. It's like my home away from home. I wouldn't miss this event for nothing in the world. It's on my calendar every year at the beginning of the year when I'm making my to-do list. The Irish Open is at the top.
What is it? What is it about this event?
It's such an amazing event. I mean, the reason why I call it my home away from home because it's such a family-oriented event. The people here in Ireland, they welcome you with open arms. And even though they're here to compete against each other, we keep it a very family-oriented environment. So we punch and kick at each other, but then we go out and hang out afterwards.
But the Irish Open abroad, I mean, what is it for Americans, Canadians, all the Europeans? Why is it they want this title?
Well, the Irish Open, among sport martial arts, is the staple of martial arts events. It is the one that you have to go to. It is like the pinnacle of the sport. So to come to the Irish Open and to receive just the place on the podium, but to receive a gold medal here is on your bucket list of martial arts things to do in life.
We aim for the Olympic Games in the future. It's a long path, but of course we have to aim for it as an objective. So we have to, to strengthen the organization in all possible ways, in the social responsibility, in the integrity, in the transparency, in the professionalism in how we conduct the events. So we have hard work, but we will get there for sure.
You have your son Niall here. What does it mean to you to have your kid at an event like this?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. The Irish Open is a massive event, the biggest in the world, and yet it's in Ireland. And so proud. It's run by volunteers, so that's an amazing, and extra funds go to charity. So he's here. He's only 11. He's been fighting now for 2 years. It has built his confidence. He was quite anxious initially when he was smaller, and dealing with that, he has grown and blossomed as a child. Being here as part of a team, watching people's strength and people working really hard. Some win, some lose, but ultimately it's about doing your best and being strong and helping your colleagues out.
Here we've Ireland's Owen Smith from BMA fighting against an Italian opponent from HMD, one of the biggest teams to attend the Irish Open. Second round of the fight, Owen's in complete control here. He's 9-1 up. Good score from Owen Smith. One more for the maximum score. And there it is, finished with 2. Maximum score 11 clear. Good performance from Ireland's Owen Smith. Here we join fight between Alex Ferez of Hungary and Marcel Ritter from Germany, two well-known athletes in their respective countries. Good score for Ferez, yeah.
Ferez. He's from a very, very talented family, Alex Ferez, and Richard and Roland, who we'll be seeing during the night of the gala.
He's around a long time as well. He's a world champion. He won a world championships in Ireland in 2011, and he's around a long time, Alex Ferez. He's not as flash as his brothers, but he gets the job done. Marcel Ritter is part of the up-and-coming, one of the best teams in the world, top 10 Germany, who in fact won the team event at this year's Irish Open.
Marcel Ritter was in the gala last year in the senior men's points at 84 kg. He beat Matthew Williams of the United States.
A well-established fighter as well. Plenty of titles to his name.
And this one of dozens of fights happening simultaneously in the convention centre, with all the tatamis made out and the rings as well.
14 tatamis, 2 rings and 2 forms areas. Absolutely huge event.
And that's what makes it the biggest event in the world. 3,900 fighters, remember, at this.
Ritter's on the comeback here, trying to pull this back. Too little, too late, and the win for Ferez. Comprehensively. 15-9.
Alex Ferez with the gold medal at 84 kg at the Irish Open. Big crowds around the Citywest Convention Centre. We've got junior men's point fighting. It's minus 74 kg. And quite a contest coming up between Britain and Russia.
So we've got Corey Cook from Team Top 10 UK, also from Bristol, fighting a very, very good Russian. This division was very big. I think there was 4 pools to start.
This is the final between Corey Cook and Daniil Gerasimov. They both won their respective pools, got through the semi-finals. Cook beat Matas Rankas for Ireland in the semi-final, and Gerasimov beating Campagna. Cook in the end getting the victory with the final action of the contest. Went all the way 13-12 in this final, but Corey Cook wins for Great Britain. So Henrietta Nagy has had an absolutely superb career to date. Multiple World European titles and World Cups such as the Irish Open as well. We're on the open floor here in the early daytime action.
She's a lot of work to do here though. She's down 11-6 to her Italian opponent, and a bit of work to do to get this back for the Hungarian. 2 very talented fighters though.
The last World Championships were staged in Budapest, very well supported 2 years ago, and Hungary perennially among the top performing nations in international kickboxing.
4 points in this, about 30 seconds left, so a bit of work to do yet.
11-7, she's behind, and the Italian has impressed terrifically here. Nagy has managed to get a point back, but we're heading towards 15 seconds to go. She's got another point on the board. It would be quite something if she could grab it from here. Another point for the Italian, and that is a big, big win. Nagy is turned over 12-10. Men's point fighting, 79 kg. Elijah Everill fighting for the United States, but he is from Britain, and Stefan Reinboth of Germany is his opponent in this encounter.
We joined this in the second round of the fight. Elijah Everill recently joined USA All-Stars versus Stefan Reinboth from Germany. Elijah is, in 2019, practically unbeatable. He has won in every tournament he's competed in, and he's unstoppable. Such a good fighter, and he's such a young fighter as well. And he's under the wing of Raymond Daniels now in the All-Star camp. Big things coming for Elijah.
Reinboth is the defending champion in this. He won in the Gala final last year against Lucas Allen of the United States. It was Allen's first time at the Irish Open a year ago, getting that far. And he's just so lively, quick feet around the mat.
He moves so effortless, doesn't he? It's just effortless.
Unbeatable, and in some cases quite unhittable, and he's able to pick off the points himself.
He's really schooling Stefan here in this fight. And we're not far off a 10-point maximum.
It must be so frustrating for the man who took the gold medal last year, took the trophy at the Irish Open, that he's up against a man who is so far ahead.
And there it is. 10 points clear and a win for Elijah.
That was impressive, and he is quite the competitor right now. Well, it's not just about the senior or even junior competition, because there are quite a lot of very young fighters involved. Kieran Lennon of Scotland against Ollie McCann of Northern Ireland. We're watching here.
This is the Peewee division, 9 and under. Brand new division for WACO this year. You can see the Scottish fighter trying a few difficult spin kicks. And he comes through at the end.
It is the man from the Edinburgh Wolfpack who gets the victory.
So next up, we have Ibrahim Abdul Kadir from Top 10 USA against Harvey Tyler from Team Epic in Bristol in the UK in the cadets category. Top 10 USA brought a very big fighting team to this year's championships. They actually won some of the team events.
And Harvey Tyler wins this one for Britain. So some older cadet female fighting. Elise Sparham of England against Bilge Sahin of Germany. Significant sport in Germany as well, of course.
Yeah, we've a lot of Germans compete at this event, and here we have Germany and UK. Also a huge amount of UK competitors travel. Older cadets, 13 to 15 years old. And a win for Germany.
Bilge Sahin gets the victory, and she's up again immediately against a talented fighter from Hungary.
Hungary are probably one of the strongest nations for point fighting. This girl fights out of the Debrecen club. She's got the win.
Bilge is having a very, very good run, and she knew she had it.
Now we have some action from the musical forms. Musical Weapons and Billy McLawrence from Waterford in Ireland, one of our best forms competitors. Some of these kids can be very, very creative for what they do. Really good coordination and skill. Somebody so young.
This is one of the real crowd-pleasing events of Irish Open week. Top man, the Gala is next. Men's
This
light contact
is the main event,
up to
the Gala
79
night. 10
kg
of the
for
best
Ireland.
finals
Brendan
have been chosen
GM
to
Kenny
showcase some of the
up
highest
against
level of fighting in the
Austria's
sport of kickboxing.
Valentin Kasanik. So here we go then, it is Kenny in the red, Kasanig in the blue, Ireland against Austria in light contact.
Good start to the fight from Ireland. 3-0 up on all scorecards after the first two exchanges.
This is down to judges, not points, and they have all very early on scored it Kenny's way of White Tiger Martial Arts. And he's previously been in the Gala at the Irish Open.
Yeah, he fought once before in the Gala. Lost out to a Hungarian who he beat in the semi-final to make it to the Gala tonight. Recently just back after a year out from kickboxing. Used to train out of Red Star in Dublin and still has a great relationship with national coach John Mackey. Here he is in the Irish Open Gala final.
The man he's fighting is twice a bronze medalist at the European Championships in Slovenia in Maribor in 2016 and 2018, Valentin Kasanig.
It's a very good shot there from Brendan.
Kasanig also successful in a different weight category here at 74 kg because you compete in more than one. He's won a bronze at 74.
Yeah, this is a World Cup, so you can fight in different weight classes. Brendan also won a bronze in 84 in this event. In a World Cup you can do more than one weight class, whereas in the World Championships, one weight class and that's it.
Kasanig's third final at a World Cup. He's previously been a silver medalist at the Dutch Open. The man in blue is under a little bit of duress here. Based in Graz with the ASCO kickbox. And Kenny will be happy about the control he has in this fight so far. It's a two-rounder.
Very comprehensive first round from Brendan Kenny. 3-0.
So into round two then of this light contact men's affair, minus 79 kg. Brendan Kenny is leading in everybody's scorecard so far. And Kasanig looking somewhat hassled, having to work that extra bit more, being made to miss quite constantly by Brendan Kenny here. And he has this fight under control. I think there's not much doubt about it.
All three scorecards still ahead, 3-0. He's been ahead from the very first exchange.
Obviously the fighters can see the current scoreline at the side of the tatami, so there's a constant awareness as to how well or not they're doing. Kenny will be looking to get this one over the line, exerting himself realistically as little as possible, get the cup, get the gold medal, especially not having won at the Gala in the Irish Open previously. And this would certainly heat up the home crowd very well. Kasanig has done well to reach the final. He is a regular medalist, or probably more accurate to say an occasional medalist at World Cup events. He's not won a gold medal yet at one. Kenny on the offensive well once more. And with less than 30 seconds to go, doesn't really have to do a huge much more. Kasanig's being drawn out just that little bit more. Quite a bit of pain, hasn't been able to use the power, the Austrian.
And that's that. 3-0. for the man from Monavea.
It's very confident, very capable. It is a unanimous points victory, 3-0 for Brendan Kenny of Ireland. He takes victory in the light contact men. And he was in control of that from the very first hit in the first second of the contest. So lots of home support for Ireland's Conor McGlinchey from Tala Martial Arts, back in Ireland just for this competition. And he's up against the Italian Gennaro De Massa.
Conor, such a good fighter. He world champion last year, junior world champion, representing Tala Martial Arts. Currently training in America for a few months, out of Team Proper, competing in America under a different rule set, and teaching in the club. Coached here by Dave Heffernan, and big final for him now.
So away we go. It is one of the few junior events in the Gala. McGlinchey in the black and the white, and immediately De Massa coming out of the tatami.
No score though, so we're back in the centre. Centre referee is Gina Engelhardt, she's from Holland. Very good referee, Billy Bryce, and LF3 from Greece, so no score again. No majority.
De Massa, a senior world champion. McGlinchey, junior world champion. Skopje in Macedonia last year. And De Massa from Fusion Kickboxing in Italy, who are one of the smaller clubs, but despite that, he has been, and they have been very, very successful.
Yeah, their coach, Mimo DeMarco, one of the best fighters that has come out of Italy. Really, really top fighter. No score again.
De Massa has picked up the first point here. But McGlinchey looking to come on the offensive again, and he's never a fighter who's worried about doing that.
He uses that leg of his very well to gauge his distance. No score, no majority, so still 1-0 Italy.
And De Massa's gone for it this time.
Right, second score, 2-0.
McGlinchey looking to get himself back into the round at the very least. He still hasn't been able to get one on the board despite some good offensive attacks. Hasn't been able to make point scoring contact just yet. He's going for it there.
Yeah, one score to Conor, so the majority 2-1.
He's looked to get something on the counter there, McGlinchey.
Yeah, so I think we're at 2-2 now. That was well countered by his timing, De Massa's timing Conor's leg quite well, but I think Conor's getting to grips with him now, so we've got one each to finish. So that's the end of the round. They go back to their coaches, get some feedback ready for round 2.
And some feeding. 2-2 at the end of that opening round. So second round underway then between Conor McGlinchey and Gennaro De Massa. De Massa in the navy headgear, McGlinchey a bit lighter blue.
Straight away you see a difference in Conor's kicking. He's now come out with more direct kicking a little bit lower, but that was well countered by De Massa. 3-2.
McGlinchey coming forward a little bit more.
There we go, score for Conor. I think De Massa just lost a score for an exit, where you leave the area and it's minus a point. So that's why Conor now is ahead 3-2 on good counter side kick from Conor. So now we're 4-2. You can see the difference since the break in Conor's kicks and how direct he is.
He's turned it around very well in the 40 seconds since we've resumed. Only scores on the board, his so far. De Massa having missed his. Nothing scored that time. dug it out very well and made contact, and he's on the charge again.
Well timed. Centre referee is looking to see if Connor jumped. That's why she had 2 fingers up, but 1 point for on the ground. No score. Connor's ahead in 5-3. And 1 point each, and we go again.
So 6-4 is the advantage for Conor McGlinchey now. He looks in control, heading for 30 seconds to go. Damasa glancing across.
Good counter
at the
side
score.
kick. Conor caught him on the way in.
Well, he's opening up a really good advantage. Damasa responding.
7-5, 20 seconds.
He's just consulting because they've spotted a little bit of blood from the nose. Will be able to continue. Damasa has made strong contact there, which is a bit of good news for him. But McGlinchey still scoring. Leads 8-5, closing seconds.
Just needs to keep him back now.
It's looking like a popular home success. Damasa still going for it. Forced McGlinchey off the floor.
That's the end. Win for Ireland. Good performance from both fighters. In fairness, it was a very well fought battle. It's a good win for Conor. 2 Irish Opens in a row, back to back.
8-5 he wins by Conor McGlinchey.
Conor, another great win under your belt.
Thank you. I'm glad to have it. I'm glad to be able to finally get my last junior final, get that win under my belt, and head into seniors now. That's chapter closed and another chapter open.
Now, I do believe that you've been training in the States. Do you think it's brought you up another level?
You know what? With fights like that, it's all in your head. No matter how much training you do and how much preparation you do, it's all in your head, in my opinion anyway.
So a chance to see some K1 fighting now in the ring. It's at -71 kg. This is Manuel Sambera of Austria. He's been a winner at the Waco Czech Open as part of the World Series of events alongside the Irish Open, and he faces from Portugal, from Sporting Club de Portugal, Adolfo Barão, national champion, and he's been very successful in the World Championships too. Barão in the blue corner, Sambera in the red with the red gloves. Sambera is an electrician for the Wiener Linear, the Vienna Tram Company. He's obviously not had much time to study the Lewis here, studying Adolfo Barão very closely here. And this is where low kicks are allowed, and the knees, but not the elbow.
Yeah, it's very different level of contact, full contact, low kick. It's a different animal, but it's very, very cagey at the start here. They're both starting with the legs, trying to gauge each other, I suppose, for want of a better word. And it's a good start.
Sambera had a very successful debut back in 2008. He won his debut fight, having to just resettle himself, Sambera, based in Vienna. But he is struggling early on here, noticeably.
Yeah, it's he seems to he's trying to counter with the exact same technique he's been hit with, rather than come up with a different tactic of his own, and it's a cagey start from both, isn't it?
Well, Barão, for Portugal, launched well with the right foot and then the left. He was a national champion at the age of 15 in Portugal, and he has caught Sambera low there. It's good right from Sambera. Barão, World Championship runner-up 7 years ago now. It was very
nice exchange of the hands there from both fighters.
He's made good contact a couple of times. Sambera having to be somewhat defensive. Had Barão against the ropes, but the Portuguese recovered really well.
It's a good shot. Good left hook. End of the first round. Finished that with a lovely, lovely left hook from the Austrian.
So second round underway between Manuel Sambera, Austria, Adolfo Barão of Portugal, and Barão has got him. Barão has got him.
That was a beautiful shot.
And Sambera is not going to come back from that. Barão gets the victory. It is a second round knockout. And that was very, very effective, and it was over very quickly. Showing concern, which is always a good thing. Sambera will be up and will be okay. May not feel it for now.
Some good respect there between the two fighters. What a brilliant shot that was.
Well, here it comes. No warning this was coming. What a left hook.
Oh, very good shot. Bit of a slice, small bit of an uppercut on it too. He caught him clean. Lights out.
So the Irish Open champion for Portugal, from Sporting of Lisbon, Adolfo Barão. Barão hasn't bought those shorts in a store. He is with the kickboxing section of the Sporting Club de Portugal, best known for the football, but involved in many other sports as well.
Some good respect there between the fighters at the end too.
Adolfo, a win by knockout. You can't do any better than that.
It's the very, very job in my partners, but the job is compensated, and now I'm win to take it.
What does it mean to you to come to the Irish Open?
The Irish Open is the best Opens of the world, and my partners and me and go to every years, but now, and continue the job and continue to win.
This man is a real crowd pleaser from Hungary. Roland Royal Verez. 3 gold medals at the last World Championships on home soil in Hungary in 2017. 3 gold medals at the European Championships last year in Slovenia. The weather put paid to him competing here last year, so he bounds onto the mat, looking to do something major tonight. He won 3 golds at the Flanders Cup last year to compensate. Men's points fighting, minus 63 kg. It'll be a right royal time. So one of the current greats, this is men's point fighting, 63 kg category. Roland Royal Verez of Hungary, 5-3 up in Germany's Dominik Meyer. And a point straight away at the start of this second round. 3 gold medals won at the most recent Europeans in Slovenia and the most recent Worlds in Budapest. And there's another point for him, he's 7-3 up.
And those gold medals were done in different disciplines, like contact kick, light and point fighting. Very difficult to do in the same championships.
Dominik Meyer is the defending champion in this event at the Irish Open. Took the gold last year. Verez did not compete because that was the weekend of the start of March of very heavy snow right across Europe and difficult to travel. So he didn't compete and he didn't win. Meyer, world championship bronze medalist in Budapest in 2017 and a silver at the Euros behind Verez last year in Maribor. 9-4, he leads by 5, which means he's halfway towards, if he can do it inside the distance, take it on a 10-point margin and the fight would then end.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of a technical knockout in point fighting. You go 10 points clear, the fight stops, it's called maximum score. At this level though, it's at a final of an Irish Open at this level, it's not something that we would see very often, so it's unlikely.
Verez last fought at Citywest 2 years ago at the Irish Open, and of course he won. His brother Richard also in the Gala. That lead is now 6 points. It's quite a successful family. It doesn't end there. Sister Mercedes has been a world champion as well, and his brother Alex.
He also won minus 84 in the Irish Open this year today. Did Alex.
It's a 7-point lead now for Verez. He is only 3. Yes, he's only 2 away now. He could do it. He has the time. This could be over very, very quickly. What a successful family. And and in his own right. Look at that.
No, that's one back for Dominic. Straight back for Verez.
He can close it out inside the distance if he wants to. There's so little time left though. He is going to win by this stage.
Looking for the head kick, trying to win in style. One more needed.
Leads by 9.
And there it is.
Well, there were only 3 seconds to go, but he does win inside the distance on the 10-point rule. He wins by 15 to 5. It was 10-2 to him against Mar, the defending champion, in that second round. What quality, again, by Roland Verez. It's another one to add to the collection. He doesn't have a sideboard anymore. He must have a room in which all the trophies go. Class act.
I really like Irish Open because here was my first world champion title for adults, so I really like it and I try to do my best.
What's next for you?
Next is tomorrow the Grand Champion. I never won before Irish Open Grand Champion. I have only 3 tournaments where I never won, and this is the hardest one. So when I'm young, I'm only 20, I have to do it.
Who do you want to fight the most?
Oh, it's a very, very, very good question. I don't know. Richard Verez is my brother, and it will be very, very great if we fight each other, the real match. And thank you everything for Ireland, and thank you Roy Baker, the WACO president. I hope the kickboxing will be in the future in the Olympic, and I can show what I do.
So look at his brother Richard Verez, the 5 times world champion, 7 times European champion in 69 kg points action against Enrique Latona of the United States, who won 2 gold and a silver at last year's Irish Open. But Verez very much in control in this all the way to the end, taking the victory 7 points to 3.
This tournament, this is the best in the world, so I'm really happy that I won here again. I can say, oh, it's amazing, really.
Men's full contact action at 71 kg, and here's Akseli Sarama of Finland, the junior world champion, 6 times Scandinavian champion in the red, bronze medalist at last year's European Championships in Slovenia, and a winner at the Irish Open last year, on his way to victory again against Norway's Patrick Gasland Strama, who won bronze at last year's Irish Open, silver this time, but Sarama gets the win for Finland.
The first minute was kind of tough because I had to check out what the opponent does, but he's a familiar guy for me. I have fought him 2 times before, so I get the gist of it, you know.
Team points fighting action between 2 of the top teams around. The top 10 team from the United States, with a little bit of help alongside the K-Talk Alliance of Canada. This was a mixed category with men and women both in action, but the United States top 10 team with some Russian help got the victory. So some points fighting now, and for Norway, Tiril Bjornestad Næss, who has been Irish based previously, and she's up against the Italian here, Alessia Costanzo, twice an Irish Open champion. From Palermo she is.
Fights out a team best fighter, one of the best teams in Italian kickboxing. Strange thing here, Will, is that Tiril's coach, the national coach from Norway, is actually Italian. They employ an Italian to coach the team.
Bjornestad Næss is all in blue from Oslo, but had been in Ireland for a little while. She's got the first point here, but based a couple of years ago on these shores.
Yeah, she was here studying and trained out of Spartan Martial Arts in Blanchardstown, and yeah, she competed on the Irish circuit for a full season. Very clever fighter.
One of the referees had given the previous point to Costanzo, but the other 2 hadn't. Has to be a majority of 2 out of the 3. Costanzo has twice won Irish Open championships here.
So the centre referee was scoring a kick and the side referee there was scoring a punch, hence the difference, and that's why there was no score. So it has to be the same technique, a kick or a punch.
Costanzo has equalised with the previous effort at 1 apiece. Björnstadnes reached the final of the World Championships in Budapest 2 years ago, beaten by Roberta Cavaliero, whose sister came up against Björnstadnes's training partner, world champion from Dublin 2015, Monica Engeset, who's quite a big name in Norwegian sport. Norwegian TV will occasionally send a camera to international tournaments to follow Engeset and obviously other members of the Norwegian team who do well. It's now all square at 2 apiece. Good score there from Costanzo, who'd fallen behind. Good response that was, and the counter by Björnstadnes as Costanzo was on the offensive, and it's happened again, so it's double scores, 4-2 for Tiril Björnstadnes.
She's in control here. She's in the centre of the area much more. The Italians having to work much harder to gain the territory. It's a close fight.
And that's the end of the opening round, and what a fine first round it was for the Norwegian. Tiril Björnstadnes leading by 4-2.
There's her Italian coach, Giampi. He's been there for the last couple of years. Really, really intelligent coach.
So underway then in this second round of the women's points fighting competition, and just like the first, there's a little bit of reorganising that Tiril Björnstadnes has to do.
Oh, good counter shot. Took the leg and then the reach hand to the body, but pulled straight back. You can see at the start of this round the Italian has the territory. She's in the centre, making Tiril work a little bit harder.
It's 5-3 for Björnstadnes. They both scored a point in this opening round, and now a second one for the Italian. Just occasional glances from her, a lot more Costanzo towards the scoreline than Björnstadnes is doing. So Costanzo ready to resume. The doctors had a look, satisfied with her condition, and the Norwegian Björnstadnes leading by 1, 6-5. So Costanzo still has a massive chance with a minute of this contest remaining. But whatever momentum that she might have had,
that's level,
has not been lost. It's 6 apiece. That was a good score for her. Ample time.
Good counter shot there from Tiril. Back ahead. It's a very, very close fight.
It's a good contest here as well, and as you can see, a packed auditorium in the Citywest Hotel, the main ballroom in the hotel where the World Grand Prix darts used to be staged before it went next door, which obviously is also being used by the Irish Open year on year during the day. Still so tight between these two. Another score for Costanzo, 7-all now, 10 seconds to go. Fight's ready to be won, and the counter was magnificent from the Norwegian, and she has nicked it right in the final second.
A very, very strong counter side kick. Very good. Something that's drilled in every club in the world. Two very strong point fighting nations, especially in the females as well. It's good to see such competitive matches.
A tremendous fight. What a climax in the end. Tiril Björnstadnes of Norway takes the victory.
It's amazing. It's so cool. This has been a dream for so many years, and like now it happened.
1 point just at the end.
Yeah, that's just luck, to be fair. But you have to be there in every second, every moment. You have to be 100% present. So, yeah, I guess it just happened now.
So full contact women, 56 kg. Kristin Volstad of Norway, the reigning world champion, European gold medalist in 2016, silver medalist last time out in Slovenia last year. That's because she was beaten in that final by Tennessee Randall, the reigning European champion, beaten by Volstad in the 2016 decider.
Very, very tough competitor, Tennessee Randall. Fights on tatami in some events, fights in the ring. Has a great multitude of disciplines. But can she see out this final round?
Tennessee Randall from Wales, from Llanelli. He was very, very effective last year. It was probably one of the best finals of the night in the Gala last year, and they're looking to put on a show this time, as well as obviously winning it. And Randall ends up on the deck, but there's nothing legal about that. Little telling off for Volstadt.
Pushed to the ground, but that won't affect the scores. She's in control here, isn't she, Tennessee? She's just keeping her back. Gonna need something big to pull this one back. Good front kick.
She's a very, very confident fighter, and she leads from the front as well. And the contrast in fighting, the same competitor being in the ring and the tatami, how different do they have to adapt?
Oh, it's a completely different environment. It's so the distance is the biggest thing. In point fighting, which she does, you fight from so much further back. You fight in a different stance. To be able to do both, and to do both to a very high standard, is very difficult. And she is one of the best. She can hybrid so much easily between tatami and ring.
Randall has impressed the judges so far. She's, as we're heading towards the end, leading by 4 on one count, 3 on another, and the other judge is only scoring at a point in her favour. But in saying that, she has to persuade them all, and there's a bit of blood now with Kirsten Volstadt, and the Norwegian really under the caution this one as we go deep into the third and final round. There's not much more the Volstadt can do except try and get some points on the board.
Tennessee's just shutting her down. She's just seeing this fight out.
That looks like it's the end of it. And Tennessee Randall very, very capable. And the confidence rising all the time. She looks an even more developed fighter now than she did 12 months ago. She knew it. She knew it. It's unanimous, 3-0 from the judges. And Tennessee Randall is the Irish Open champion again, defeating Kristin Volstadt of Norway again.
Winning the Irish Open back-to-back's no mean feat.
That's what it's all about.
Good sportsmanship from both fighters.
Very exciting and tough fight, but stick to what I know and fight my fight, and it came through in the end, so absolutely chuffed to bits.
You're one of those rare fighters that seem to be able to switch from one discipline to another to another.
Yeah, I think why not? And if you're travelling all this way, why not get the most, you know? My points fighting has helped my full contact so much, even though they're such different styles, but they complement each other as well.
Do you have a favourite?
Gotta be full contact. Gotta be full contact. But no, I gotta be honest, I do enjoy points fighting as well. I've learned a lot through it, speed, sharpness. It's excellent to watch.
Tennessee, what's next for you?
Training for the Austrian Open in April, but end of the year now will be the World Championships, where I am going to be the world champion.
Very tight contest early on in this full contact junior men's encounter. Adam Condon of Ireland. 2-0 ahead on the judges' cards, and he's up against Anatoly Lilin of CSKA Russia. Adam Condon has been well advised coming into this final round, third and final round of this full contact.
Yeah, Adam, new to the ring, fought in the ring for the first time in world level last year in Jezero, got a silver medal.
It's been a tough fight for Adam Condon, but he has made a decent impact. The silver in the World Cadets and Juniors in Italy last year, and it was in this weight category in light contact as opposed to this full contact, in which he won gold at last year's Irish Open. So he's versatile.
Yeah, he's another one of these who can transfer what he learnt on tatami and bring it into the ring, and trains in Tala martial arts. with Dave Heffernan, Martin Bannon, and now Jim Upton is in his corner today, former full contact national coach for Ireland.
Up in 2, level on the other, and in the 2 he's ahead by, he's 2 clear.
You just can't get complacent, because in full contact, if you get caught, you could be in trouble. So he needs to just keep strong guard and see it out. The Russian is tough though.
Well, he's out of the CSKA club. You can hear how well Adam Condon is supported here, obviously fighting at Citywest. It's home soil, it's just a stone's throw away from his base in Tala. Late in the bill, but a lot of the crowd have still stayed to watch him. Condon is ahead in all 3 judges' scorecards now. It's tight in all of them. Lilland, though, could conceivably turn it around in the final moments, in the final minute, but it's somewhat unlikely. Condon has picked his timing very well, and Lilland is down.
Very, very good shot. He's in control, he knows he's in control, but he's still on the offensive. It's a real good fight.
CSKA, obviously, probably best known for the football, but they've got a very successful ice hockey team as well, and athletics and basketball. Kickboxing they have a big interest in as well. You can see a few injuries on Lilland's back, by the way, from presumably previous encounters. And that's the end of it. Adam Condon was very, very well in control of that all the way through. He will get the result when it's announced to the public in the next few seconds.
Great win for Ireland, good performance.
Adam Condon gets the victory. So it was 2-1 in the end in favour for Adam Condon. Lilland had managed to score well towards the end. Lilland took it 6-5 on one of the judges' cards, but the other 2 had scored it Condon's way, and he gets the win.
Adam, absolutely brilliant stuff. Split decision. It was a tough fight.
It was very tough, yeah. It was a good opponent from Russia. I was all expecting a good fight of him, but I got tired towards the end, but I dug through and got the win, so I'm happy.
Did it help having this crowd yelling for you behind you?
Oh yeah, they always help the extra bit. It wasn't much crowd for him, so it was good on my part anyway, so I'm chuffed to win.
It's always a little bit different when you're fighting on home turf, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it definitely is. The sport is unbelievable, especially the Irish, the best fans in the world.
So this could well be one of the fights of the night. It is men's light contact up to 63 kg, a battle of men who have multiple European and world titles between them. From Italy, Timothy Boss, and Britain's Finn Heesum.
Well, these 2 fought earlier today in the -69 category with Finn Heesum coming out on top, so Timothy Boss, multiple world champion, is going to look to try and avenge that here in the 63 category. I think Finn could have gone over on his knee there. He seemed to fall awkwardly as he left the ring.
Well, Finn Heesum is back on his feet, but is he still 100%? We'll find out shortly. The threat of this being a very short contest being taken care of by the Briton, but Boss attacking quite well, and now Boss ending up on the floor. This could be one of the fights of the night.
Very good technique with his front leg from Finn Heesum.
And Timothy Boss, who won the Irish Open last year.
Fought in the Gala against Ireland's Aaron O'Connor.
Well, the well-matched Boss, 4 times world champion, 7 times European champion. That includes Taekwondo, by the way. He's good at that as well. Finn Heesum, who's in the blue. 2 world champions, 3 Europeans.
A little bit of blood in his nose. Let's get that cleaned. These really are 2 of the best lightweight, light contact fighters in the world. Very, very good.
Finn Heesum 3-0 up at the moment. All 3 scoring it his way. These are 2 men who know each other very, very well. Timothy Boss, the ace Italian, reigning world champion, took gold in Budapest at the last World Championships 2 years ago. Trying to get himself back into the contest, and Finn Heesom on the deck, but not quite like that.
Finn would have been a junior back then, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at this year's World Championships if they're in the same category.
Because it's World Cups, they can fight at more than one weight division. They met at 69 earlier today on the open floor in the convention centre next door. Heesom won that.
Very close fight as well.
Boss made to miss that time with a wild swing of the left glove. And that's the end of the first round, and Heesom leads on everybody's cards.
Result 3-0 for blue corner. Finn Heesom.
Final round. GB ahead on all three scorecards. The Italian has a bit of work to do.
Out of the English Midlands, Finn Heesom. He's a full-time coach as well. Heesom looks like he's being caught low.
First warning for Timothy to keep his kicks up. It's 2-1 now.
That Heesom has dealt with. At the moment he's dealing with Timothy Boss, but Boss has got himself back into this contest well. A couple of good kicks to the chest though from Heesom.
He's back in front now on all three scorecards. He's taking control of this.
Boss a little bit bothered. Very impressive with his victory in the Gala last year. And this is very much a different contest for him.
They fight at a very high tempo, both these fighters. Some good exchanges.
Every time Heesom is conceding on one of the cards, he's coming straight back with the next punch. That blood is basically going to be a constant trickle from the British fighter's point of view.
So an official warning there for Finn Heesom for holding just before the last exchange.
And they've had to mop up a little bit of blood that's coming from Heesom's nose. That had gone onto the footwear and onto the mat as well. And it's almost as if all of that has made him decide for the final minute, right, let's go for it now. He's ahead on everybody's scorecards now.
His blood may become an issue for him.
Oh, that was a good hit. Well, he's having to respond. He's up against it, definitely. He is ahead, but under big pressure. Well, it's still 3-0 for Finn Heesom. Final 10 seconds. Heesom looking to get this over the line. He's done it, he's got it over the line, and definitely it was looking in advance that it would be one of the pairings of the night. And Finn Heesom, you have to say, in the end, Damien, pretty much dominated that.
Yeah, he was ahead from start to finish. Very good fight, two very good fighters, and I'm sure they'll meet again.
So that's two weight categories that Finn Heesom has succeeded in. Won the 69 kg earlier. Victory here at 63.
We've been up since 6 a.m. and good to finish today on a positive note.
I was going to say it's a nice way to finish.
Yeah, especially from capturing the title above this weight earlier on today to finish it off with my actual weight is spectacular.
What's next for you?
We're looking to go on just a strong year now with a couple of more internationals. Next stop the Dutch Open, but tomorrow is the next one.
Is it always harder to fight somebody on their home turf?
It is, but you either thrive or you don't, and that's the way we train to exceed in these high pressure environments.
That is an end to another fantastic Irish Open International, an event that just keeps getting better every year. And who knows, we may well be looking at some future Olympic champions right here. We'll see you next year.